Hey, Grant Wilsterman here, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going over the two things that I get asked the most about when preparing an offer to purchase here in North Carolina: the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit. Thanks for making it to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Grant Wilsterman. I am a realtor here in North Carolina serving the greater Charlotte area, and today we're going to talk about the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit, what they are for, why they exist, and how they work. First off, the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit are commonly referred to as the DDF and the EMD. Due diligence fee, DDF, earnest money deposit, EMD. So if I say that, that's what I'm meaning. The reason that they are a part of the North Carolina real estate contract is because in North Carolina, using a standard offer to purchase, a 2T form, the buyer can terminate the offer to purchase at any time for whatever reason they want. You decide you don't like the paint color of the primary bedroom, terminated. You decide that you don't like the tile in the bathroom, terminated. You decide that the chipmunk in the front yard gave you a weird look yesterday, terminated. You sneeze weird while driving to the property, terminated. You get the point. Since the buyer can terminate the contract at any time, there needs to be something that holds the buyer to actually purchasing the property, or they can just put a bunch of houses under contract for no good reason and terminate them whenever they want at their own discretion and waste the seller's time. That is why the DDF and EMD exist. The DDF and the EMD are both amounts set in the contract by the buyers. They are due when the offer is accepted or within 5 days of the offer being accepted or the effective date, if you check this little box here. The due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit are not due until an offer is accepted. Putting offers on houses only costs you your time and the potential to go under contract on them. It doesn't cost you anything to actually just put an offer in. Now, contrary to the title of due diligence fee, the due diligence fee and earnest money deposit are not in addition to the purchase price of the house. For example, let's say you put an offer on a house for $300,000, you make the due diligence fee $5,000, and let's make the earnest money deposit $10,000. When you go under contract on the house, you're going to have to write checks for the due diligence fee of $5,000 and the earnest money deposit of $10,000. Then, when you get to the closing table, you only have to bring $285,000. 300 minus 15, 285. So, the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit are not in addition to the purchase price. They are a part of your down payment and deposit on the house. The big difference between the DDF and the EMD is what happens if you were to terminate the contract after it being accepted. To understand what would happen to the money if we were to terminate contract as buyers, we need to understand the two phases of an offer to purchase contract. Phase 1 is called the due diligence period. This starts once an offer is accepted, which is known as the effective date. The due diligence period goes until 5 p.m. on the due diligence date, which is another date that is set within the contract by the buyers. Usually, it's about 2 to 4 weeks from the effective date of the contract. If you terminate contract within the due diligence period or phase 1 of the contract, you will not receive your due diligence fee back. That will go directly to the sellers, and you'll never see that again. Goodbye. But you will receive that earnest money deposit back. The second phase of a contract is the time between the due diligence date and the actual settlement or closing date. During this time period, you can also terminate at any time at your will if you're the buyer. But you are then going to have to forfeit the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit, which is a bummer. That could be a lot of money depending on the offer that you wrote. During this phase, you can also terminate contract at any time as the buyer. But during this phase, or phase 2 of the contract, if you terminate, you are going to forfeit the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit to the sellers. Since in both phases of the contract the sellers will be receiving the DDF, The DDF tends to be written out directly to the sellers at the time of acceptance or the effective date of the contract. The EMD could be returned to the buyers if you were to terminate contract in phase 1 of the contract, or it could go towards the sellers if you terminate in phase 2, or it will go towards the sellers if you close on the property as part of your payment for the house. The EMD is then held in an escrow account or a third-party account that holds that until closing, in which it is dispersed to whoever party receives it. These two deposits are incredibly important to understand, especially when making offers on houses that have multiple offers, which seems to be about every house in Charlotte market right now. Literally every one. It's crazy. If you offer a really high DDF, say like $30,000, that is really appealing to the sellers because they're guaranteed that you are going to pay them $30,000 or close on the house. It gives such reassurance to the sellers that you are going to follow through with your end of the contract and not waste their time. Or if you do waste their time, they just get $30,000, which if you waste 2 weeks of their time, $30,000, that's a pretty good hourly rate. Both the DDF and the EMD show the buyer's financial commitment toward executing what they say they will on the offer to purchase, and they provide financial compensation for the sellers for taking the home off the market and allowing the buyers to perform necessary inspections on the home to make sure they actually want to buy it. Hopefully this has been a helpful tutorial on the due diligence fee and the earnest money deposit. If you learned something and you finally understand how the due diligence fee and earnest money deposit work, please give a like to the video, help the YouTube algorithm, help other people find this video so that they can also understand due diligence fee and earnest money deposit and make smart real estate decisions. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe as well, as I do real estate tutorials and house tours in the Charlotte area. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.